Okay, so this is a tutorial done by me, Georgia Wiggs, on how to turn this photo into avatar like that on the movie. Yeah, cool. So, the first step is to create a new layer by pressing Control Shift Alt and N, and they have your new layer. You want to select with the paintbrush tool a kind of dark blue color and just paint all over the face in it, avoiding the eyes, of course. So I might just change to a smaller brush size. Yeah, cool. Changing to a smaller brush size there. Yeah. Now, obviously, that's not how we're going to leave it. We change the layer blending mode just up there to color. So once, yeah. Now, obviously, that's a bit too strange. I'll just get that bit I missed there. Yeah, cool. So, evidently I want it bluer than that. So I duplicate the layer, Control J, and change it to soft light, and I adjust the opacity of that. Now I'll group these two layers together by pressing Control G. Yep. And I'll just change the opacity down a bit. That's the original, just so that it's not as harsh. We don't want it too blue. Cool. So the next step is, because on Avatar they have stripes on them, to get a photo off Google Images of zebra stripes. So I'll just wait for this to load. My computer's very slow. Yeah, so a photo like this will do. I'll just copy it and Control V, paste it into here. Now I need to get rid of all the white bits in between the stripes, so I'll use the magic wand tool and hold down Shift just to select all the white areas and delete it, so that I've only got the black, because that's all I want to work with here. Yep. So I'll just delete that. Oh, I missed a bit. I'll just get that. Yep. Cool. Now I press Control T to get the transform tool, and I'll rotate it by moving it out there and just, yep, rotate it. I need it a bit bigger so it covers my entire face. I'll just move it over my face. A bit smaller, yep. Now I'll press Enter, or the tick that you'll see up there, to get out of the tool. I'll go back into it again, Control T, right click and go to Warp, so that I can make it fit my face a bit more, look a bit more realistic. Now I'll just stretch using the corners and the line, just stretch it down a bit, wherever, just to make it fit my face, so that it looks a lot more realistic, really. And I'll just change the layer blending mode to opacity and to overlay, sorry, and just adjust the opacity down a bit, so that it looks pretty good, yeah. And I'll just change the warp tool so that I get that little bit of chin there, yeah. Cool. So now that that's done, I'll add a layer mask to it, which is that little button just there. And when you paint in black, like so, it erases it. When you paint in white, you get the picture back. So, of course, I'll just paint in black all the areas where I don't want it, like just there. And on my eye, and a bit on the nose. But I do want it slightly on the nose, so I'll just change the opacity down, and I'll repaint it a bit with white, but it's not as strong. I'll just get rid of it on the lips too. There we go. I'll just make it a little less severe in areas. Yeah. So that's the original, and that's what we've done. Looking a bit more alien, but not quite finished yet. So the next thing I have to do is the eye. I want to change the shape of the eye. To do this, I'll just make a new layer, Control Shift Alt N, and layer stamp it, Control Shift Alt E. I'll just zoom in there, and I'll select around the iris with this lasso tool. Sorry, it's a bit off the screen, and I'll just select off all around that. Almost done. And press Control C and Control V to get it on a layer above. Cool. Now I'll go back to the below layer, and I'll go into liquefy mode, which is Control Shift X. Yep. Now just ignore how I'm going to end up distorting this iris, because we've got another one on the other layer, so don't worry about that. Now I want to turn the eye, but I don't want to turn the entire image, so I'll press the mask all button that you'll see. Sorry, it's not on the screen. And then I'll use a kind of small brush size and use the rub out tool, that one, just to rub out a bit of that eye, so that's all that's affected by what I'm about to do. There we go. So the red areas are not affected by what is about to happen. Then I'll use a turn brush. I'll make it big, and I'll hold down Alt whilst clicking it so that it turns the way I want it to. So yeah, it's gradually tilting the way I want. Cool, that's great. I'll just click in the middle to turn it a bit more. Yep. So now I'll just turn off the layer mask by clicking None. Cool, so that looks very strange. Now using the drag tool and a sort of smallish brush size, I'll just drag it out a bit, just the corners of the eye, yep. And then I'll make my eye a bit bigger by using the bloat tool. Something you kind of rarely use this one, it's not used often. But yeah, make sure brush density is low. Cool, so my eye is looking a bit creepier now. So we'll just press OK and it will load up. Now this looks really strange with the iris, but we're about to fix that. Go onto the layer where the eye is, yep, and press Control T to bring up the command. Then hold down Shift and Alt and drag it up so it's bigger. Yeah, so about to there. Now add a layer mask to that and rub out it where you wouldn't see it so that it looks like it's inside your eyelids. Yeah, so that's better. Looking good. Cool. So almost finished really, just want to add a few more finishing touches so that it looks really good. So that's the original and this is what we have now. I want to play around with my facial structure, make it look a bit more alien. So I'll create a new layer and layer stamp it, Control Shift Alt E. And then I'll go into liquefy, Control Shift X. Now I'll use the drag tool just up the top and a rather largish brush size and just move up my jawline a bit so that it looks more pointy. Yeah, like that. Now I also want to change the nose because in the movie they have quite almost cat-like noses. I'm definitely not looking human anymore. So to do the nose, I'll use the pucker tool. I'll just drag it out a bit first. Yeah. I'll zoom in. Which is Control Plus, by the way, to zoom in. So I'll just use the pucker tool. I do this by clicking in one spot, then Shift and clicking in another, and that flattens it in like a perfectly straight line. I'll just do that a few times, and I'll do it across the bottom of it too. See, so it's got a more square-like nose like in the movie, looking pretty creepy. Yeah, and I'm sure you could probably do it a bit better, but this is about the 5th time I've done an avatar photo, so that'll do for now. Bye.